This is the north half formula of minimum standard which, when following exact deposit environment, guarantees 24 plus transactions annually. I'm the president of your personal growth achieve. 1. I dedicate 1 hour a day towards building retention and self-confidence. 2. I practice internalize my sales skills for 1 hour each day. 3. I contact my spirit with close by mail, by phone, and by person, and by email quarterly. 4. I make 150 plus contacts per week, 30 plus per day, by phone or in person. 5. I follow all and qualified by daily. 6. I set 5 plus new appointments between buyers and sellers. 7. I can deliver to all my appointments. 8. I have my appointments. 9. I call my sellers frequently. All of this usually makes a minimum of 5%. 10. I sell 75% more in this inventory. 11. I return every signed call, contact every buyer in 2 hours. 12. I will work with highly qualified buyers and pre-qualified by my mortgage lender and signed buyer broker agreement. Earn more commission, less time, less energy spent. I recognize success comes from persistence and limited profit. Therefore, I commit to following every step to 12 steps to success. Anthony Robbins, now I'm the voice. Now I am the voice. I will lead not follow. I will lead not follow. I will believe not doubt. I will believe not doubt. I will create not destroy. I will create not destroy. I am a force for good. I am a force for good. I am a leader. I am a leader. Defy the odds. Defy the odds. Set a new standard. Set a new standard. Step up. Step up. Step up. Step up. Step up. Step up. Opening affirmations. I am a professional sales person. I use information on my clients to achieve their goals. I rise by using trade. I focus on small wins every day. Real estate transactions are running my market. My ability to succeed. I can start with every step. I'm a master of every situation. My confidence is unshakable with unlimited integrity. I always counteract thoughts. I take excellent care of my body. I start each year with abundant energy. I am task-oriented. I set clear priorities daily. I know what I want and I get it. I grant the bravery of financial abundance each day. My gratitude gives me unlimited financial success. I think prosperous thoughts. I am prosperous. I have my one life and I profit every day. Taking action is easy for me. I make it a start each day. I enjoy being free. I exercise daily. I enjoy helping my clients succeed. I can help them lose. I'm a real estate expert. I am so expected to be a real estate expert. I'm a professional. I am financially independent. I earn commissions each helping others. I have solutions. Prospecting is good for my business. I follow buyers and sell by others. Prospecting is easy for me. I enjoy following my ask why. If you are back to my enthusiasm, I use technology to succeed. I get everyone started there and call it a. I'm an outstanding salesperson. I'm a powerful agent. I know how to succeed. I keep positive striving for production jobs on all time. Yes! Good morning. 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 Good morning.
Rise and shine. Most of us wear glasses now.
Every time I sit here, I'm going, why didn't I grab my glasses? And the crazy thing was I had them on my desk. And I'm like, why didn't I just grab them? No,
So you have them on your head and
yeah, right? Where did I put them? Yeah, how many of you did that with your sunglasses? Dang, and I lost those nice sunglasses. Yes. How's everybody today? Awesome. Victories, wins. What do we got? Yeah.
You know, I had a phone call yesterday from a guy that is not here all the time, but he's been in the business for, I don't know, 30 years. Just such a positive uplift. He always sends Greg and I information on really neat things to build us in the business, but he just called me just to lift me.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is, and it's nice when people will do that to other people.
Absolutely.
To help them out.
Yeah, I agree. Trying to be positive,
Yes.
feel light.
But he's that way, just normally.
Yeah, that's good.
Always sits here on the end.
Oh, thanks.
Russ!
Just one more seat back.
Okay, Russ, not you.
Seat back.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
He is an awesome guy.
Who else? Yes.
Well, coming from a very structured environment to this is chaotic for me. So I've spent the last 3 weeks going, is this really going to work? You know, is this for me? And so I started reading a book called The Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod. And about a week ago, I said, you know, I have to start somewhere, so let me start doing it. That's what been coming in, like,
yes.
Because I'm getting up at 4:15 every morning doing this. And I'm still going, okay, sphere of influence. I don't have people that here that I know in Houston. I'd be killing it. So yesterday I went to a 1-year-old birthday party, a friend of mine, and there was a lady there, and we started talking, And she goes, yeah. And I said, oh, so are you renting or do you own? She goes, no, I'm renting, but in the next few months I would like to start considering. And I go, okay, well, I'm a real estate agent.
What? Right?
And she's so we're going to get together. She's not in a hurry when I get back from Vegas in 2.5 weeks.
And the games begin.
So it was kind of an affirmation for me.
Yes.
You know, if you really do work at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not as chaotic as
I've always stated, look, real estate isn't a job, it's a way of life.
right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, you have to be thinking about the business. So that's good.
Yeah, and I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah.
When she said it, I go, oh, wait a minute. I'm getting into this.
I'm a realtor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, I don't have my cards with me, but
Yeah.
I'll get back with you.
But we will get you in a
Yes.
house. Yes. That's exciting. Good for you. Yeah, it's where it starts. We got some great ideas around that. We'll help you with it. So,
Yeah.
the Active SOI. Who else? Victories, wins, gratitudes.
I'm just gratitude for what I've been learning recently about being in that readiness for receiving. And as you are, like, you will notice so many things just continually come to you. It just keeps coming and coming
Yeah.
because you're grateful for it, right? Like Stephanie could have thought, who's this guy calling and why, like, this is a bother or whatever, but she was ready to receive something good in her life rather than turn it away.
I really like that because Lynn says something all the time she gets from Tony Robbins, and life is happening for you, not to you.
Right.
I love that because so often we get into this mindset that it's happening to me. Why me? Look, life is happening for you. Decide what you're going to focus on, the good or the bad, because it's both going to be there, right? So you have to just let it go. Boo! Thank you for that. Who else? Gratitude, victories.
Just Rick, I would say a gratitude is, yesterday and just reading the book and Tony and all those things is I'm just grateful for the environment that we have because it's amazing that even though as much as you listen, like for me, as much as I listen to him and as much as I engage in it, the masterminding of talking with people about it and those things, I enjoyed that yesterday. And for some reason, I told George, as I said, I've been to UPW so many times, I said, but for some reason reading that book is enlightening me even more. And it just reminded me that whether it's Tony, whether it's Mike, is our ability to keep growing, and you're always going to learn something new at the event every single year because you're a different person every single year. I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for yesterday. George took some time with I'm going to get choked up, my nephew. And then my cute nephew asked for his number to say thank you again to him, and George's response to him was just powerful, and I'm just grateful for the mindset of our group and the impact it's had on my life, but now I'm watching it impact the lives of the people I love the most. So.
Isn't that amazing?
She's passing it down.
Absolutely. Yes, thanks, Lindsay. Appreciate you sharing that.
Along the lines of life is happening for us, not to us. I've been traditionally for a long period of time, for years and years, a really, really good victim, a classic victim, fantastic victim.
Aren't we all at some times, right?
Not Tony.
Yeah.
So once I embraced that and started to try to take it into my life, is that whatever happens is happening for me. Stress level just goes poof.
Yeah.
And then you start attracting other things.
It's truth, right? And I think we all play victims sometime or another because we want to have the pity party, at least for ourselves. Why me? We all have been there, done that, but it's the mindset that changes that makes our life great. I don't care what it is, it's what you focus on is what you're going to get. So I appreciate you saying that because so many of us are not willing to admit we've played the victim role. And, it's easy to fall
It's
into.
a massive time waster too.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a big black hole that sucks you in. And we can say, why me, rather than, one of the things I love that Jason has taught me and focused on, be more curious rather than judgmental. Okay? Because immediately we jump right into the defense mode of certain things when we should be more curious about what's going on in our lives and how are we showing up. It's a big question we need to be asking ourselves. So, who else? Victories, wins, gratitudes. Okay, great. So, next week, we pretty much, most of us are gone to Mike Ferry, Superstar Retreat.
We're not going to have any meetings in the morning. We've canceled role play. We've canceled morning Ascent. We want everybody that can go learn what Mike's doing, be with your colleagues, networking, which is going to be big for you, and anybody. So focus on that. And again, Tony Robbins coming up. Is there?
Yeah, so if any of you guys are wanting to go out to Unleash the Power Within, your cutoff date for that pricing is the end of this month, which is in like 2 or 3 days. So
yeah.
Make sure that you get with me if that's something that you're wanting to do. Highly recommend it. And again, the pricing and where you're going to be able to sit. Now that I guess Saya just went to the one in New York, and he said it was 15,000 people. When we first started going, it was 2,500, you guys. So just know that if you're going to do it, you definitely want to have that upfront seating. So
absolutely. Jason and I will be here. For any of you guys who are there and have a quick question for what's going on here, we'll be here. And those who are not going, who will be here, we're here. Reach out to us. We're going to be around. So I want to thank our lenders for being here every morning. Thank you so much. You guys got any great words for us?
Rates are great. Things are still moving forward. Now's a great time to buy. We're here to help.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate everybody being here.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, the call around tonight, right? Thanks, Lynn.
Yeah.
It must be that space in between those two announcements.
I know.
I just, woo, right? Woo.
Russ did that yesterday.
I know.
Totally missed the top.
Woo, thank you guys for keeping me in alignment. That's the great thing about our management team. Keep us grounded. Especially when we're so excited about a message. So the call around, great thing to be at. And we do have pizza coming, don't we?
Yep.
So we're gonna have food. So feed them, they will come. So it's a great thing to be doing, and if you've never done it before, it's great because we'll be tapping in with you, giving you some techniques to help you get through that system and make it happen for you. So thanks, Linz, for reminding me about that.
George and John will be there. So.
Oh, perfect. That'll be great. Well, it's usually a good time. So one of the things that I got thinking about this because I was thinking back on Rick Davidson's message that he gave us in base camp. When I say future pacing, what comes to your mind?
Preparedness.
Preparedness.
Working on business for the future.
Thank you.
Anticipation.
Anticipation. You guys are so good. Spot on. But it's one of the things that we lack so often in our business. I mean, you look at where we have been at the beginning of this year. Who in here feels like time just blasts by?
I remember when we were sitting in here in January 1st.
Right.
We got a brand new year. It's like, wow, here we are already half.
I mean, I'm thinking, 2017, and here, I mean, what got me thinking about this too is my license renewal in January. I'm going, man, do I got enough of my credits in? And am I future pacing my business? We as agents get so caught up in the now business. Russ teaches a class that's now and future, right, Russ? Business, parallel tracks. Why do we do that?
So we can sustain ourselves and stay in the business.
It's kind of like planting a garden, right? You don't throw the seed in the ground and cultivate the soil and the seed, you're soon going to starve, right? So you have to be looking at the now and the future business. If you don't do that, your business can die. So my big question for you, what are you doing in future pacing your business? What are some of your thoughts that you work on for future pacing your business? Kind of a deep thought, right? Because we work so often on the now. But if you were thinking, what is it that I need to be doing to make that happen? And that it's big for you, because right now you got to have now business, but it's the future business that you're really setting yourself up for, right? So when you think about that, what are some of the activities you're doing? What are some of the things that you're looking at the quarter? What happens to your business in that, and why? As you're thinking about that, think about it, and I want some answers from you, if you have some. What got me really thinking about this when I was analyzing portfolios for major banks. You guys remember the great crash, Taylor Bean was one of the big ones. And I was looking at the portfolio of $800 million in properties. What do you think the number one question they want answered was?
How did it go so wrong?
They knew that. They wanted to know, what do we do next, right? Because you have $800 million in assets were falling to the wayside. And there was a shift around the country with a lot of these portfolios that got me thinking about this. And as you analyze what's going on in the country, they want to know, where am I going? Why would they want that? Can I give you the answer? Mainly because you got $800 million in assets that they're holding. Okay? The liquidation of that, they have to answer to who?
Investors.
Investors. So the investors want to know what their return's going to be. Well, at that rate, there was no return. It's how much are you going to lose? So as they want a future pace, they need to understand where the market is going. Okay? So that they can either hold the asset. Now here's a brilliant change that happened. The brilliant change that happened is a lot of your major portfolios were actually foreclosing, yes, but they're keeping the owner in the property and having them pay rent. So they retained the asset, allowed it to grow, to liquidate later, or give the option for them to refi and come back into it after they cleared the credit. Brilliant move. Because as an asset manager, you look at what the trend was as far as the billions that knocked out. There was only 3 PMI companies that really were existing at the time. It knocked out 2 of them. You're talking trillions of dollars lost. So they wanted to know, where are we going and why? Which really brings it back to us as individuals. What are we doing to future pace our business? Look at the year and what are the trends, and why do we have this that's such an issue? And the answer is because we don't future pace. We get caught up into the transaction that we're doing and we stop prospecting, which puts us down here. We start prospecting, which gets us up here. Stop prospecting, which takes us down here. We never really look at what we're doing and why. And if you talk about what Russ teaches in his class, now business and future business, and that you just give us an example of it sitting at a party. Talking to somebody about in what, 2-3 months maybe? Mm-hmm. Okay, obviously that's future business, but how are we planning that and what does that look at? So the cool thing is with our partners, we have events coming along that we need to be thinking about. What's our trends? What are some of the things that we can focus on that allow us to reach out to our clientele? Because future pacing is an important key in taking this out of it. Because you can literally go like this. Now, one of the great advantages we have is we get these reports. How many of you have been reading these reports so you can future pace? Do you get it? Do you understand it? Do you understand what it's doing? I mean, who can tell me where our market's headed? Major banks, when they're dealing with this, they want to know at least a good indicator of what's going on. So you look at your market stats, and you see that we get this, once a month? Okay, and you look at, it's interesting because look, in June, we had total active properties 2451. How many do we have total active right now?
2614.
2614. This is no different than the way major banks look at what the market's doing, along with interest rates, what's the Fed's doing, what is their portfolio doing, what's the performance of the portfolio. So what's the portfolio performance of your business? We really need to be thinking about that. What's my trend? Is my trend this? What am I doing here? Because didn't we just pass this point? What is your results? How do you tell what works? by the results. So as we analyze our business and start looking at where we're at, how we're performing, should give us a good indication of where we're going. Do you know why major corporations hire history majors? History repeats itself. That's why we get this. So if we know those little keys of engagement, and we want to take this out, if you know you're going to be down in July, what should you be doing the month before? You better put more listings on the board, right? Because we know we might be going on vacation. So now we have August coming up, which is, what's a major event going on in August? And I mean major, it's a twist.
School starting.
Thank you. Which does what to relocation, people thinking what they're doing. So how are we future pacing for that? What is the message being stated out there for when kids are going back to school? What is the message that we're putting out there to get people to engage now? You know, and you have to be looking at your demographics of your portfolio, of your business, and what you do. So as I coach people, this is some of the things that I start talking about. Where are you going? What are you doing? How are you doing it? What are the things you're putting into play to get you the business you need? So SOI, huge, right? What events do we have coming up for SOI? Thank you. What day is that typically happening? I forgot.
What is it?
Yeah,
October.
SOI event, right?
Toward the holidays.
Yeah. Are you future pacing right now for that event? Are you targeting how you're going to do that? Now you get a lot of different things that agents will do around the SOI in that time frame, whether it's a pie or, you know, but right here is where I do a target market with my SOI as a future pacing piece, which always produces 3 or 4 pieces of business. I leverage with my lender, send the pieces out, make the contacts for that future business. Sometimes it turns into now. So as you navigate where we're at, look at what your results were, what were your numbers, how are you affecting your market versus what we are doing. Are you outperforming what the standard market's doing? Those are questions you need to be asking yourself. These reports are extremely important for that reason, because it helps you tell what the market is doing. Right now, new active listings, who can tell me?
1176.
1176. What did we have the month before?
1230.
Okay, look where the market's going. It's an indicator. This is what got me thinking about it. You know, Rick Davison stood in here and told us he was a little concerned of where our market's going. Now, I would project for banks 2 and 3 years out based on their portfolio and the liquidation of what they were doing. So how do we know? We understand what Utah does as an effective market compared to those around us. We're typically, before it used to be 1 to 2 years behind the surrounding states. Now it's around 6 months to a year, the surrounding states. But the influx, where they were coming from, there was Arizona, Idaho, California, and what was the influx? What was the impact on our marketplace? We needed to understand all of those pieces before we could give them an accurate market projection and future pace of the liquidation of the properties. So as you look at these trends, you need to be looking at your business with a magnifying glass and start asking the question, where are you at, what are you doing, and how are you actively working your market? Because your market, each one of you, is different from the next. Because of your experience, because of your SOI, your influence, all of those things, skill set, all those things become part of what your market is doing. And how is it compared to somebody else? So those are the things in my message today, what I wanted to really go over as far as, are you future pacing your business? What are you doing as far as analyzing where you're at? ask the questions if you need help of understanding where you're at, because you as a builder is going to be different as Tony as a resale. So you have to be looking at what you do, who you are, what you're about, how you actually connect with the company, with the market, and the trends that you're faced with. Fair enough? Good. Thanks for being here today. Let's go ahead and close with some closing affirmations. Okay, I succeed because I act on my goals. I am an optimist. I like talking to new people. I know what's important to me. I remember people's names. I have a daily plan and I follow. I'm passionate about real estate. I know consistency is my greatest tool. I like asking questions and listening. I enjoy making to improve my self skills. My thoughts lead my emotions to action and goals. I focus on my dreams daily. My presentation is powerful and persuasive. I improve my skills daily. I am happy. I love prospecting and feeding my business. I see my future as awesome. I love my life. I am grateful and thankful. I control my thinking. I believe in me. I feel outstanding. I use my beliefs to optimistic daily. I get things done. I provide excellent customer service. I drink water daily. I connect with people. People love me. I love others. I'm disciplined and accountable to my daily schedule. I prospect daily. I set appointments daily. I'm a master persuader. I achieve my goals. I'm a real estate rock star. I'm passionate about my life. I live every day with purpose. I'm confident in myself skills. I know my destiny. I'm healthy and strong. I am powerful. I'm unstoppable. I keep positive. Yes! And there goes my morning.
Have you ever seen them live?